Hello, I'm DeDe, and I'm glad you've joined me for 30 minutes of balance-oriented yoga. Here's what you'll need. If you're on a hard floor, a yoga mat, a folded towel for some padding. You'll need some water for hydration to sip on periodically. You'll need plenty of space around your area if you're using a mat or not. You probably won't need your shoes or socks. And you'll need to find modifications for yourself if what I'm doing doesn't feel right for you, and if the modifications I'm giving you don't seem right. All right, so we're coming down now. I want you to come down in a way that works for you, whatever way that is. And then we're going to start lying on our back. So we need to have some, perhaps, elevation under our head. So I encourage you to use your folded towel under your head like a pillow. And if you don't need it, then just put it off to the side for now. We're lying all the way back, carefully. Shoulders away from ears, straightening out your legs, straightening out the arms and turning the palms up, because that allows our shoulders to more easily flatten against whatever we're lying on, the carpet or the yoga mat or whatever it is. And then I encourage you here to close your eyes and begin to breathe in and out through your nose. And now we'll try to begin the inhale a little lower in our lungs than we normally would. So if we normally are breathing in a little bit shallow fashion, at this moment we're trying to breathe more deeply than that. So start the inhale lower in your lungs than normal and fill upward from there. And then each time you exhale, exhale completely. And we're breathing in and out through the nose because, as I like to talk about, it's easier to filter the air, it's easier to moisturize and warm the air if we breathe through our nose, as well as we're not drying out our mouth and our throat as much. And then if your eyes are closed, you can let them open now. Let's bend the elbows and we'll start to wiggle the fingers and thumbs around a little bit. I want you to feel connected. Your movement, your breathing, your awareness, connect those all together. Make a fist, flare your fingers apart, do that a few times. And then we'll also flex and extend our wrists. Feel the stretch there on both sides. Keep your head in the center mostly here. If you're turning your head to look at me, only do that when you have to look at me, and then bring your head back to center. All right, so now we'll bend one of our knees, put the foot on the floor, bend the other knee, same thing, and then draw your knees in closer to your chest. Hold on to the backs of your thighs. Now we'll flex, dorsiflex and plantar flex. So we'll flex and point our toes. Warming up through our ankles and our feet, as well as a little bit through our calf muscles and the lower leg tissue. Keep your deep breathing going here. Now let's circle the ankles around in one direction. And then the other direction. And then let's relax our ankles. Let's extend one leg up and push the heel away, and then switch. So you can just rest your hands against your thighs here. Push up and away with your heel. Push up and away with your heel. Starting to warm up through our legs, feet, ankles, knees, hips. All right, and then we'll bend our knees and then circle around through the ankles in one direction and then the other. And then we'll turn over onto our sides. You can take one foot down, the other foot down, turn over. Use your hands to press you up. And now I'm going to face sideways to you. You might want to face sideways to me as well. Separating the feet. Knees are bent. You can be on your fists, your fingertips, or your flat palms here. Let's inhale. On the exhale, take the knees to one side and pull the opposite shoulder back. And then we'll switch. Can you feel what's happening in your shoulders, as well as your hips, maybe your low back, maybe your legs? All right, now we turn the entire body around. So as you exhale, turn and look in the opposite direction from your feet. And then when you're ready to inhale, go across to the other side. And then exhale. Hello, Prissy. That's my cat, Prissy. She likes to make an appearance. Let's do one more of these to each direction. I hope you're starting to feel a little bit more limber. All right, and then we'll come back to the center. Now you can face me here if you want to, or you can stay sideways to me. Hold on to the backs of your thighs, pull your shoulders back and down. We're going to keep our chin the same distance away from our chest here. And then start to lean back. Now what you'll start to feel here is there's more effort in your abdominals, there's more effort in your shoulders and arms. And then as you slide your feet in a little closer, you may find that they get light enough to pick up off the floor. But if they don't come off the floor, that's okay too. Here's what we don't want. Head forward, back rounded, or chin way up in the air like this. Okay, so you're just gonna keep it the same distance apart from your chest as it would be if you were standing up tall and straight. So this is balancing right here. We're balancing somewhere near our sitting bones, our ischial tuberosities. And then we'll separate the feet and we'll lean forward now. If you need to sit up on something in order to be able to lean forward this way, even with your knees bent, you still might need to sit on your folded towel. So make sure you do that. Now let's go again for this balancing pose. This is called boat pose. So keep the same chin to chest distance. Lean back, float your legs, your feet off the ground if you can. And then maybe you reach one arm forward with your shoulders down. So remember which arm you reached forward if you're doing the arm reach, so we can do the other one next time. All right, separate your feet, lean forward, recover for just a moment. All right, here comes round 3, shoulders down. Keeping your neck long and neutral, leaning back. Maybe your feet come off the floor, maybe they don't. Now we'll reach the other arm. So you may feel your hip flexors right here in your hip creases working as well. All right, separate the feet, lean forward. I think we need to do one more round, just one more though. All right, then we're coming up, walking the feet in, all the things we've talked about so far, but this time we'll see if we can bring the shins up, maybe parallel to the floor, maybe one arm, maybe both arms are reaching now. Make sure you're not going to fall back and hit your head on anything. That would be not good. Keep breathing. It's not easy when you're here, but do your best. All right, coming down. Now we'll turn over onto our hands and knees. And then I'm going to need my extra padding, Prissy, so I'm sorry to disturb you, but this is for me to use under my knees. Thank you very much. All right, so you can place your extra padding under your knees as well. And then let's come up onto our fists and knees, or you can be flat on your palms and knees. Shoulders away from ears, engage your abdominals to keep your back supported. Now let's do this. Turn your right thumb up, reach the right arm forward, sliding the little finger along the floor, and then switch. Reach the left arm forward with the thumb up, and then switch. Let's do it again. So your wrists are right underneath your shoulders when you're in the tabletop position like this, and then you reach forward with one arm or the other arm. Now let's try that with our legs. So we're just going to drag the toes out behind us, straightening out the knee, and then drag them back in and switch. Out and in. You're still breathing. You're pushing the ground away with your remaining knee and hands. Now I think we're ready to do opposite arm and leg. So you can keep your toes and your fingers on the floor, reach them out away, push the ground away, and then come back in. Let's do the other side. So this is a progression. We're making it a little tougher each time. If you need to stay with an easier progression, make sure you do that. Now, if you can, I want you to lift your arm and leg instead of just sliding them along the floor. And again, in a progression, there's always easier options to go back to. So make sure you do that if needed. Make sure you do that. Remember, there's a difference between just being on all fours and actually pushing the ground away. So I want you to feel the difference when you're actually pushing the ground away. We have one more of these. And then let's release that. Now we're going to sit back into child's pose, your version of child's pose, whether it's here or further back, or all the way down. You can reach your arms forward or just let them relax. All right, so then we come back up to our hands and knees position. And again, that can be fists and knees if it needs to be. And then we're just simply going to hike one knee up off of the ground. So see, my right knee is lifted, but the rest of my body still looks like I'm just on a hands and knees position, right? So that takes more balance. And then take your knee down, and we'll do the other side. Now the option here, if you can't quite lift it all the way up, is to just make it lighter. So your knee is now lighter if you can't lift it all the way up. And then let's bring the knee down if it's lifted, and then we'll lift one hand so it's no longer on the floor if possible. And then switch. And remember the pushing away of the ground. You want to make sure you have that going on. So you're not just simply here, you're working this position. Now, can we try right hand and left knee? Let's try it. So you have no choice but to push the ground away with your supporting two limbs, right? And then come down nice and easy. And then switch, push away. A lot of balancing here. Keep breathing. And then we'll come down and we'll switch again. Opposite hand and knee, push the ground away. And then switch, last time. This is strengthening for the core too, I'm sure you can feel it. All right, and then we come down. Sit back into your version of child's pose once again, or find a more restful pose than child's pose, that's fine too. Balancing is so important. It's so important that we practice it regularly. Because if we don't, then we lose the ability to balance. We can't balance as well if we don't regularly practice it and regularly challenge ourselves. So now we'll come into this extended version of child's pose, whether you're forward or as far back as you can possibly get, either way. Now take one hand and place it on top of the other hand, and then press your armpits gently down toward the ground. Breathe in, breathe out. And then we'll switch. So you take your hand shoulder width, and then the other hand comes on top of the first hand. Press your armpits down. And then we'll step the hands apart, shoulder width. Now join me here. We inhale forward into plank pose, tuck your toes under, and then exhale back into child's pose. Do that again with your breathing. As you inhale, you come forward and lift your knees up to a straight line. Exhale back. 2 more. All right, now this time we push back into downward facing dog and we alternate our heels. This is one of my favorite limbering moves because I love the way it feels on my toes on one side and on my calf on the other side. Just one of my favorites. All right, now both heels press down evenly. Now here's what we're going to do. So you're facing sideways to me. I want you to take the foot that's furthest away from me and step it forward. And then take a second step if you need to and take it the rest of the way forward. Now walk hand over hand around until we're facing one another. Turn your toes out a little bit and bend your knees. Now take your hands on your thighs. Find neutral and straight with your spine. And then lift your torso a little more. And then we'll inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands come together in front of the heart. And we'll do it again. So straightening the knees. And bending the knees. And again. Now, if it doesn't throw you off balance, you can look up and then you can look forward. But be careful there because you have a very wide stance and you could lose your balance. Always be safe. You're moving at your breathing pace. Doesn't matter how fast I'm moving. Keep an eye on your knees. Make sure they point out in the direction of your toes. Now we'll stay here. Inhale, hands on your legs. Exhale, drop one shoulder down and twist. And then when you're ready to inhale, come back up and the other way. Two more. Now we're going this way into a low lunge. So come up on the tiptoes of your back foot, bring your fingertips down or your fists or your palms, or you can be up on yoga blocks here. Let's inhale. On the exhale, drop your knee toward the ground. You don't have to put any weight on it. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, drop it down. And 2 more. Feel what's happening in your hips, your legs. Okay, your back knee is off the ground now. We're walking around, hand over hand, all the way around this time. Your feet are on a railroad track instead of a tightrope. Fingertips or fists or palms or yoga blocks. Inhale, exhale, drop the knee toward the ground. And then do it again. And one more. Feel that tremendous stretch. And then lift your back knee. Let's walk around to the other side once again. And now it's a higher lunge. So start to come up with your front knee bent. Find neutral with your spine and rise up. Now we'll sink down into both knees a little bit. Now I want you to steady yourself on a wall or a countertop or a sturdy chair if you need to. We're challenging balance, but we want to be safe. So let's sink down. Inhale, exhale, turn toward your front leg, so in that direction. And then inhale, center. Now exhale, turn toward me. And then we'll do it again. Now you don't have to turn your eyes. You can keep your eyes in one spot. That makes it a little easier. But if you're able to turn your eyes along with your torso, do it. All right. And then we'll release that and we'll come to forward facing toward one another. Let's go the other way. Railroad track your feet. You're up on the tiptoes of your back foot, sinking down, finding that steadiness with that object, wall, countertop, chair if you need it. Hands in front of your heart. Now inhale. Exhale, turn with your back to me. And then back to center. Inhale. Turn toward me. And again. Both knees are bending. All right, let's come back to center and release that. Now we face one another slowly. Take your time. Okay, you have a nice generous stance here with your feet. Turn your right toes out. Turn your left toes in a little bit. Bend your right knee and then make your pelvis level. Front knee stays over the ankle. Don't let it collapse in like this. All right, hands on your hips or arms can be out with the thumbs up, shoulders down. Now here's how we challenge our balance if you want to. Come up on the tiptoes of your right foot. Now you can look out toward your right fingertips or thumb, or you can keep looking toward me. And then release your heel down if it's lifted. Let's switch sides, taking your time. Turning your right foot in, your left foot out, and your heels are on a straight line alignment, more or less. All right, bend your left knee, level out your pelvis. Hands can stay on your hips or arms come out to shoulder height. Now find the tiptoes on your left foot if that's right for you. So this is challenging on several levels, isn't it? Flexibility, balance, strength, and muscular endurance. We're challenging all of that in this one position. So keep breathing. And then release, your foot comes down, turn your toes toward me, and then we'll heel toe our feet together or bring your feet together any way you like. Standing tall, feet under hips. Get your balance now. Inhale, exhale, come up on the right tiptoes, touch your thigh, and then we'll switch. Left tiptoes. So keep doing that. Or if you feel comfortable, lift your knee up, flexing your foot on your lifting side. Inhale, exhale. So anytime we challenge our vision, like if the room that you're in is darker, that automatically makes balancing much harder. So I'm not suggesting that you turn the lights off. I'm not suggesting that at all. But just know that if the light is not as bright, then you're a little bit more challenged with your balance. Also, if you move your head around, that's going to challenge your balance more. Now this time we're going to hold the right knee up, keep flexing the foot. Now with that in mind, inhale. As you exhale, drop your chin toward your chest and look down. You can look down at your knee or something beyond your knee like the floor. Remember to utilize your light support if you need it. And then looking forward once again and releasing. Let's do the other side. Get your balance. Bring your knee up. Hold on to the leg with your hands. And then dropping your chin toward your chest, looking at your knee if that helps. And then releasing. All right, roll your shoulders up and back and down. One more. Step your feet out a little wider than your shoulders. Let's turn both feet to this direction. And then we'll try to pitch forward, unlocking your right knee until you feel a stretch down the back of your right leg. Support with your hands on your legs, maybe both hands on the front thigh. Not on your knee joint though, go above that. Or one hand on each thigh. Keep your back long and neutral as you come up. Then we'll switch sides. Keeping your back straight now, we're coming forward. Stepping the feet in a little bit closer. Now we take the hands around behind the back. If you can, lace your fingers together behind your back. If you can't, just put your hands on your hips as if you're putting your hands in your back pocket. And then we'll open the chest up by drawing the elbows further back. So whether you're here, drawing the elbows further back, or you're here, either way. Try not to do a back bend though. Try to pull your front ribs and your pelvis back a little bit. Relax your jaw, relax your face. And then let's release that. Now take your arms into this goalpost shape, shoulders down, and then arms travel back past your ears. And again, we're not moving into a back bend here. We're keeping the spine neutral, not here, but here. Arms back. And then release your arms down. Roll your shoulders up and back and down. And one more time. All right. So how did you do with that? Connecting our body and our brain together helps us balance better. And being better balanced helps us be more agile and more coordinated and less feeling clumsy, if you ever feel that way. So we have less of that when we can balance better. So thank you for joining me. And until next time.